Alright, No Good Gamer here. Welcome back for another episode of Stone Block 4. Last time we set up all of our bonus power generation through the mycelial generators, and now we're pushing forward towards nuclear power, even though I may not make use of the power itself. We'll see. But what we gotta do next is get into making fissile fuel. And for later, we will also be needing HDPE sheets. Now, I've set up a spot right here that has a wireless connector already set up to the system, and all of these are on the system itself. And I've also set up a bunch of chemical storage cells that don't have anything in them just yet, and they're not like they're not filtered for specific things. I just needed room to be able to put chemicals back in the system, but they all have destructor add-ons on them. So basically, it's like having a void upgrade on them. So I'm going to be using that as well as the network import-export cables and stuff like that to get everything set up. So to start with, we're going to want that deconcentrator that I had. I'm going to put, it's going to be annoying if I put it in that angle. I'll put them down here in the front. And then do I have import exports? Yes, I do. Take that, connect it directly to it. And it'll go this direction. So we're going to need our liquid sulfuric acid. I'm just going to show the setup for this first thing just so you can see the general idea of what I'm going through doing this. So we'll do that. That gets us our liquid sulfuric and is now turning into sulfuric and then immediately being put back in the system, which means it should be in here now. Yep, we are getting straight up sulfuric acid into the system now. I'm going to finish building this all the way up to the fissile fuel, and then I will bring you guys back once I get that part complete. Alright, and I finished setting everything up. I left a little hole just so you can see underneath. Everything, all the stuff that's needing to be brought into it is being brought in. I think I've already used... Yeah, I've already used all of the liquid sulfuric acid in the system. But it's fine because it gave us a few thousand buckets of regular sulfuric acid, which is what we needed. And I'm still consistently producing more of the liquid. But we use that with these. I have some upgrades. I maxed out all of their energy upgrades, so they have all 32 of those, but I'm only using 8 speed upgrades apiece. Otherwise, it gets really, really expensive. It was this one right here I have going really fast, which is why it goes through everything, but this one has 32 energy on it and 20 speed. When it had 10 speed and I had 10 energy on here, it was taking 2.5 million energy per tick just to run this. So I had to max it out. And now among all of them, we're averaging about 2,600, but it jumps up to a couple 100,000 FE on certain ones. Like some of these end ones get kind of expensive. So we got the yellow caked uranium turning into the uranium oxide right here. I'm making the yellow cake uranium right next to it and then just having it immediately push over. So I have these both with their item configs connected to each other so that they actually bring items in. So input from there and then it outputs to the import-export bus. Then these two are what are making our uranium hexafluoride. We have plenty of hydrofluoric acid. And then these are what are making our fissile fuel. And I'm kind of thinking I might want to boost this one up just a little bit more. So I'm going to throw 8 more in here. And it hasn't messed with the energy consumption yet. And then in that case, now we're bottlenecked by this. So I'm going to put another 8 in here. There we go. And there we go. slight tweaks here and there to get more and more out of it. And with that, we have plenty of fissile fuel now. So if I go in here, we now have, yeah, hundreds of buckets, and we're making multiple buckets at a time. So we have plenty of fuel to run whatever reactor we want to set up. And the next part is setting up HTBE sheets, which, if I remember correctly, is not as difficult. So we're going to need an enrichment chamber. Again, I got a few more. And that requires pellets. And the pellets we make in the pressurized reaction chamber using oxygen and liquid ethene. Liquid ethene is condensed ethane, which ethane, I think, hydrogen and water with biofuel. So we need pressurized reaction chambers. Now, did I remember to put these in already? Yes, we did. Look at that. That's what I'm mostly going to be using for this. And we're basically just going to do the same thing. We're going to add on to this line a little further. I'll just leave a bit of a gap so I can differentiate between the two sections. And I'll start with that one right there. So for the first one, going back to the way I do this normally. HTBE, and initially we're trying to make the pellets, which means we need to... Oh. Yeah, oxygen, liquid ethane. So we're going to need to make substrate too. Yeah, see, this is where the... it actually is a little more complicated than the other one, but it shouldn't be a big deal. So hydrogen and water. Hydrogen, again, pressurized reaction. Water and oxygen, no. Electrolytic separator, that's what I was needing to initially get our hydrogen and oxygen up. Electro. Right there. Go in, grab that. Encode. I don't have a lot of space in my inventory right now. There we go. Back in here. Then, yeah, now we need that. And I apparently don't have iron dust on my crusher. Where's my crushing factory? Yeah, apparently I got everything but iron dust. That's funny. So then, iron dust, crusher, encode. And then crushing factory. Boom. So now I should be able to make a couple of these. Now, pick that up. Start off with one of these, because it just needs water apparently. Take water, drag it over, give it speed. It gave it water. And I'm gonna need to extend this out, the power, further. So now this is doing its thing, making oxygen and hydrogen. It should be an import-export, so I don't know why it's not exporting. Oh, I think I know why. It's always with these. So we'll go chemicals. I'm gonna clear that. And I guess I'll just put it on output. Because it would be items, input there. Energy. It doesn't really need it to be on energy, but it's whatever. It's still working though. Wait, is oxygen counting as... No. Am I getting oxygen into the system at least? Yes. Why is it so slowly going into the system now? Troubleshooting. Why is oxygen not getting out of here? Have you boosted? Chemicals output. Oh, it's because they both have different outputs. Oh, that's awkward. Well, guess I'll do that. I'll do that. And now that is on blue output. Okay, good, it is taking it. Just this one needs speed. There we go. And just like that, we are making hydrogen and oxygen at a somewhat reasonable rate. We'll use upgrades on these to get more of what we need, but sticking to the program, I showed you one. Now I will continue off screen and then I'll bring you back to show you the rest. Alright, and now we have HDPE sheets. So you already saw me set up the one for hydrogen and oxygen, and then after that I'm using the hydrogen with water and biofuel to make the substrate. And then that also makes ethene at the same time. So the substrate and the ethene were the same process. That's why I thought it was more complicated than it was. After that, I just turned the ethene into liquid ethene with a condensator, a condenser. And then with oxygen and the liquid ethene and that substrate, you make the HDPE pellets. And since I had it right next to it, I did kind of like what I did over there. And it auto pushes over to this, and that makes the sheets and puts them in the system. And if I need them faster than what I'm currently doing, I can go through here and upgrade these and adjust things. I haven't even upgraded my first one. Like, we'll see if I need to later, because as it stands, I built it and washed it for like 60 seconds. And we've got 14 sheets, 16 pellets. So like, honestly, this one I could probably upgrade. But if I'm going to do that, I'm going to get some of these in there first. So I'll go energy upgrades, and then I'll just do 8 speed upgrades. And it's always annoying doing it like this because I have autofill on, so it'll try to put all 64 in at once if I try to do the shift right click with 8 in my hand. But that's just so it does this quicker. It needs 3 of these to make 1 of those. And at least the back end of it is at full speed. So now we're looking at 23 sheets. Oh yeah, I need to grab these, that, and then just in case, because I think some are managing to just make it into the system and not come back out. I'll make sure that it also imports here, because I think on items I have input coming from this and then outputting to there, but initially I didn't have it that way and it was using the import export properly. But with that, it should be all working and no more pellets stuck in the system. So we've officially made our HDPE sheets and our fissile fuel. The next step would definitely be to put together a reactor. Now, do I want to at least build the reactor before next episode? In which case, I did do some research, and I think I'm doing a 9x9. So let me clear up my inventory of the random regular things. Do all that. And then I do this. Whew. Yeah, I'm going to need the logic adapters, the ports, reactor casings, and then all of these too for the size that I was wanting to do. And then now I also need reactor glass, which is that right there. So put away some more stuff I don't need in my inventory. I'll do that for right now. And do I have a building wand of some sort? Or a construction stick or something? There's my netherite battery-powered construction stick. Let's see, it was supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. So I think it's like that. I can't remember how tall I wanted it. Let me... 9x9x16. So we're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I know that this will be 10 tall, so we'll just get these put up real quick. Now I need to get my hammer out. That one does a 5x5, so I can at least dig straight up. So we'll go 1 up, and that puts me at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and we just need one more higher. But I need space to build too. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll swap hammers. Alright, that's essentially squared. Alright, I dug it out and put the frame up for the most part. Let me get this part in, and then the walls are going to be the reactor glass, so using the building wall that'll actually go across the corners too. That fills all that in, and then the top half is going to be back to that. I could fill it in with the case or with the glass too, because I think it gave me just enough to do so. But we still have other things that we need to put in here, which is these, which I need to put on every other spot, leaving gaps. But because of the way the building wands work, as long as I get the grid up first, I can just do a quick building wand all the way up to the top with these fission fuel assemblies. Just go boop, 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 boop. Just gonna do this all the way up. Did I not have enough? I thought I had enough. Or did I end up going one too tall? It's completely possible that that's what happened. It should be 9 by 9 by 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. No, it's 16 tall. Huh. I feel like I'm supposed to have more cooling rods. Let me see, because when I go to here, if you right click on it, it brings you your fission reactor builder. And I set it up 9 by 9 by 16, and it told me I needed 325 of these, which means to do what I'm trying to get it to do, I have enough. Oh, it's because I need the control rods. That's why. That's what it was. The top is control rods. I'm dumb. There they are. Sheesh. And then, boop. Top them with rods. And cover it up with either the reactor glass or the reactor walls. Whoops. That wasn't what I tried to do. There we go. Yeah, see, sparkles. It's done. It's working, technically. It's a whole thing. But we still have some pieces I need to put in it. For one, water input. And then I'll do it on this side. I'm going to go steam output. And then right here, this will be the waste. And put another one right here for water input, because I'm gonna put my generator right here, and it takes the steam in and then it can give water back to keep it cooling. But then on top of that, we're gonna need our logic adapters. And do I have redstone wire right now? Or red alloy wire? So with this, I'm gonna come over here. Just come up a little bit. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Put the adapters in. Middle one. So we'll put it on activation and invert it. So that, yeah, it activates when it's powered and it deactivates when it's unpowered. So if I reverse it, that means that it'll deactivate when it gets powered. which is what I want, because these are going to be things that set out signals once they happen, and I need that to turn off the reactors. So we've got one for fuel, so if it gets too low on fuel, it'll turn off. We've got one for if it takes too much damage, it'll turn off. This is what actually does it. This one does, if it gets too hot, it'll turn off, and this one will turn it off if there's too much waste. If it backs up to 90%, it'll turn off so that it doesn't overfill. And then with that, using these cables, I just do that. And right now it's powered, which means it's turned off because it doesn't have any fuel or anything. Not to mention that I don't have it turned on yet. Now, I'm gonna need to be able to put water and fuel into this. But I think that'll be a next episode thing. We've gotten our actual reactor up, we've gotten the fuel, as well as FTB sheets that we're going to be using after we start getting our waste out of this. Next episode, I'm going to be setting up the actual reactor, or with the steam turbine that uses the steam that comes out of the reactor. And with that, that is the end of the episode. We got our reactor up, big old 9x9x16. I had the system calculated for 250 burn rate, which would be a pretty good burn rate for actual steam generation too for power, which we don't necessarily need a huge amount because we're already making about 25 million power per tick or FE per tick from our mycelial setup. But this can actually earn us an extra like 10 to 15 million just because may not be needed, but hey, I'll take extra power. And on that note, I will see you guys in the next one. As always, leave a little love, leave a little hate. At the end of the day, the most important thing is you do you.